In 1947, when the flag went up, the entire nation stood up. Entire nation stood up. Because at that time, we knew what it meant to be oppressed by somebody else. Now we've forgotten. That's all that's happened to us.
So, my question basically concerns your response to Gautam Gambhir's question, wherein Gautam Gambhir was of the opinion that people should be compelled to stand up for the national anthem, and he was surprised as to how this was even a topic of debate. As I understand, you agreed with him, with the only qualifier being that if somebody is disabled, he should not be forced. And…
I'm not looking at it… Please complete the question. I'm not looking at it so simplistic, but…
So, Sadhguru, my question is that should we not allow people to find out what their own interpretations of loyalty and allegiance are? I mean, we walk unaffected when women are raped. We walk unaffected when women are raped. We stop Dalits from entering public facilities. There are so many injustices that we do.
So we can do one more.
No, I mean, just because we go to the cinema and before gangs of Wasipur, we stand up for the national anthem, how does that become the criteria for having allegiance to the nation, of being a patriot to the nation?
Looks like it's a very popular question. See, let's look at it this way. A nation, when we say a nation, all nations on the planet are not in the same state of development, evolution, and social and other realities are not in the same state. Looking at India as a nation, we are trying to make this a nation. Still there is no real nation, because still a whole lot of people are identified with their caste, creed, many things, with their community, many things. Because we are yet to make a nation out of it. We should have done it early on after 1947, but we did not do that work properly. As you said, discrimination is there based on your caste. That means we've not made a nation yet. You are separate nation, I am separate nation, isn't it? Just because of your birth. So if you want to make this a nation, there are certain tools, certain symbols, certain acts, and anthem is one of them, that we are trying to make a nation out of this. And we are a nation where 500 million people have not eaten properly. Largest number of malnourished people on the planet, unfortunately in our country. Nearly 60% of rural population in India, their skeletal system has not grown to full size, they are all like this, compressed. Dissipated life, underdeveloped life we are generating. But we have debates about whether we should stand up or sit down when the anthem happens, all right? Simply because we've lost our humanity. I'll come to this. And we have issues with our sovereignty. Somebody is always trying to gobble part of what you call as India. That itself is not settled. We don't know where our borders are. Yes? And you and me are sitting here today comfortably talking about many things simply because there are men who are standing there who are willing to die for this nation. If you don't like it, it's fine. There are men and women who are willing to die for this nation. Every day they're dying. You may be seeing it as statistic, but unfortunately, they have wives, they have children, they have families. A man who stands there willing to stake his life, willing to make his wife into a widow, willing to make his children into orphans, at least please tell him, we don't care a damn for this nation, you also come back, what are you guarding against? Why should a man stand there guarding this nation when we are not willing to stand up for a simple symbol of the nationhood? It is 52 seconds, it's a shame. 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 Now, the kind of arguments people are creating is, what if somebody is handicapped? Arey, don't we have that much sense? If somebody is handicapped, we will not ask him to stand up? What nonsense is this? He can sit like this, showing some expression for the nation. Nation has to evolve. If this nation in the next 25 years comes to a place where all citizens in this country are well-nourished, we can bring down our nationalism and patriotism by 25%. If in another 15, 20 years or 25 years, if everybody is well-employed, well-to-do, nation is bursting with prosperity, then you can bring it down to 50%. Someday if you come to such an egalitarian situation where there is no caste, no creed, no discrimination, gender, caste, creed doesn't matter, we are all just boom. If you come to that stage, we can talk about dissolving the nation and making nation into a global possibility. But without understanding the realities, when your sovereignty is not fixed, when you don't know where the hell your border is of this nation and half the people have not eaten properly, you are talking about in one hand popcorn, one hand Coca-Cola and you can't stand up. No, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is not a question of nationalism, this is a question of your humanity.
So… So, Sadhguru, if I could just follow up on that answer you made. So, as I understand, you said that there are individuals like soldiers who show their allegiance to the nation by fighting for the borders, fighting in the borders. We are not loyal because we don't stand up for…
Nobody talked about loyalty, please.
I mean…
No, we need to understand this. Nation is not a God-given entity. It is an agreement among us what a nation is. Yes? Nation is not some God-given thing, it's we who made the nation. There is an agreement what we will respect, what we will not respect, what we value and what we do not value in this country. So this is an agreement that we have made. So this is not a question of your loyalty, maybe you're doing some great work, but you don't want to stand up. But I am telling you, this is not about you who is well-to-do. This is about those people who are still not fed properly. This is about those people who are dying on the borders. This is about those people who are being rubbed down to the ground on a daily basis.
So, Sadhguru, I completely understand.
How will sitting help? Please tell me first. No, how does sitting help? If one person stands up and speaks, it'll be nice. If you can stand up for this at least.
So could I complete the logical flow on the question I ask him and then we'll put it to somebody there? Is that fine? Or like, do you want to ask right now itself?
Please take the microphone and speak, it's fine.
Fine, so I mean, the reasoning which I understood is that there are individuals who are sacrificing for the nation.
No, there is a condition.
There are individuals who subscribe to the idea of a nation and the implication is that individuals who do not stand up for the national anthem do not subscribe to the idea of the nation.
Not true. I am not saying that. This is a very simplistic logic. I am not saying that. I am saying nation is at a certain status of evolution. Do you understand? In this nation, we need an emotion to move this nation to a better status. For this emotion, everybody needs to participate. It's like saying, tomorrow you want to build a family. You go and tell your wife, see, I'm very agnostic, I will give you what you want, but I will not invest my emotion into this family. You think you will have a family? You think you will have one? So, standing up for the national anthem and a few other symbols of that is just that you are creating an emotion because nation is only in the minds and hearts of people. It doesn't exist anywhere else. There is no nation in the world. Nation exists only in our minds and our hearts. If it doesn't exist in your heart, how will it exist? It will cease to exist.
So the last time the last time in history we had forced acts of symbolism that resulted in Nazi Germany.
I got you. All right, that whole thing. All right. See, this is why the problem is you have read European history, you have no idea of Indian history. Let's come to this. Nazi Germany was organized against somebody within that country. Right now, you standing up for the national anthem is not organized against anybody. It is not organized against anybody. This must be understood. First of all, let us be very clear. Without investing our thought and emotion, there is no nation. Right now in this country, a whole lot of people, if you go into rural India, a whole lot of people don't know what is India. They know only their caste, they know only their community, their full allegiance is right there. You have to build this nation in people's minds and hearts. You don't build a nation just around. If you build a road and a bridge and something, nation will not happen. You have to build a nation in people's minds and hearts. This is a simple thing. Why should I stand up in a cinema theatre? That's a question. No, not necessary in the cinema theatre, but how many of you by yourself will go and attend a Republic Day parade or go for flag hoisting on an Independence Day and stand up and sing the national anthem? You don't. So because the only damn place that you go to is a cinema theatre, we are asking you to do it there.
Fine. So we'll proceed from that discussion as to my ideas of nation and whether I should be standing up and whether how that subscribes to.
Okay, how else will you express your love for the nation?
So if I could just make another point there, is that 2 points here. First, take the example of say the victims of the 1984 riots, or take the example of the Bhopal gas victims, right? These people have been failed by the nation. These people have been discriminated upon. So, after 1984, how many governments did we have? We had multiple governments.
No.
So, tell me one government after 1984, if
See, one second, hello. It's not just in 1984 or post-94 we have failed. We have continuously failed a whole lot of people for 70 years. When 50% of the country's population is still not nourished properly, we have obviously failed them. This is why I'm saying this is a question of humanity. This is not a question of nationality. The only way, the largest… Here.
No, nothing.
Yeah. The largest number of people, the maximum number of humanity that you can address right now in the current reality of the world is called a nation. If you want to address people in smaller communities, you must break it into smaller groups. Or when the populations or the nations become mature enough, like it's happened in Europe, they've made an union. The same people fought each other in the World War II, but within 60 years' time, they formed an union. There is a certain maturity there. So here, they don't have to promote too much nationalism because there is a maturity of accepting everybody and opening up the borders and living as one larger union. So if such a thing happens to us, that someday we become an Asian Union, which we should aim towards on someday, then you can lower your nationalism. Right now you don't have a thing, you have not eaten properly, you're talking about other kinds of ideas and comparing yourself with Nazi Germany, which was in a completely different state. I'm saying you have ideals without reality check about your understanding of where we are, where this country is right now.
Okay, so then, sir, I think this is something, I completely get your points, but I think this is something we'll disagree on, and I think if somebody has an issue, we'll…
No, you should not disagree, you should ask more questions.
Fine, so I thought we had limited time.
See,
but
it is like this.
Yeah.
It is like this. Right now you are in that state of mind that I am fixed on this, unless you say what I want, I will not agree with you. This is not a debate. You asked a question, I have said what I have said. You ask more questions?
So, my primary concern was that there was limited time, but if you're okay…
No, don't
with
worry
it,
about that. I'm willing to spend the day with you. Because you've raised an issue where certain people, just for the sake of popularism, they're talking some nonsense without keeping the nation's interest in their thinking. Now, It's okay, don't shout. If you want to say something, take the microphone and speak. Anonymously, anybody can say anything. If you want to say something, stand up and speak, it's perfectly fine with me. All right? Just doing boo-boo, woo-woo is not going to help. Because this is a nation, as I said, I'm reminding you, you don't seem to have the pain in your heart, because I have traveled through villages and rural landscape of this nation so much. I have seen people in such horrible conditions continuously, even today. Just here, in this state, just travel around, see it's one of the well-to-do states in the country. Go to the remote parts of this state and see how people are. Most of them have not eaten properly in their entire life, okay? When this is the condition, we have debating about nuances, 52 seconds if I stand, my legs will melt down. No, I'm saying this, can you create a nation without investing your emotion into the nation-making? Can you?
So, could investing emotion also be by expressing healthy skepticism? Is healthy skepticism also not a factor that is taken into account while building the nation?
You can stand up and be a skeptic. Be a stand-up skeptic. Why are you sit-down skeptic? Even comedians are standing up these days.
But it's how I express myself to be
Okay, how will you express, sir?
I mean…
See, how will you okay, do one thing, let us not sing the national anthem, let's not stand for it. Find some way where all Indians can express 1 way, 1 minute of respect for this nation. Please find some way and tell me.
So, sir, I completely agree with you, and that's where I come from. Like, I could be contributing to the nation not in terms of 1 minute, but in terms of hours. I could be protecting tribal rights. I could be going to courts and fighting for Dalits. I could be doing investigative journalism.
Yes, sir.
So,
no, you did not listen to me. Please listen to me. What I am saying is, find one simple process that all of us can use to express our love for this country. Find that. But then we will stop the national anthem and do that one.
But so, why is it that we need a common idea of expressing love? I mean, if I have 3 children, all 3 of them will express love to me, will express their love to me in different manners.
You need to understand this, your love for your country is not your personal romance. How you express your love? How you express your love to your friend or your partner is your business, we will not ask you. But when it comes to the nation, we are trying to put complex culture into one identity of some sort. Why don't you take a microphone and speak? Don't sit down and speak, stand up, You got legs, right?
So, could somebody give the mic to Rohan Pratap Singh?
You know their questions, please tell me.
Fine, so… Before the mic comes to him, because I think it will take some time.
No, I would like you to stand up.
Yeah. So our question was simple. If we are
Can I sing the national anthem now that you are standing?
Sorry?
Can I sing the national anthem that you are standing right now?
I think I can express my nationalism the way I choose to express it, because we are a country which is extremely diverse.
I do not question that.
Yeah.
I am not even questioning that. But I am saying, this is a country of 1.3 billion people. Each one of us, our own language, our own culture, our own castes and creeds and eating, dressing, everything is different. When it's like this, we need some common point which we all plug into and say, this is our thing. So this is the flag. I know flag is just a bloody cloth, we know that. But it's we, by investing our emotion, who make it sacred, isn't it?
So to add on to Rohan's question, I mean, if the requirement… Sorry.
The question is, do we not have
faith in… If you can hold the microphone.
Yeah, sure. The question is, do we not have faith in our diversity? We are a country whose population is more than the population of Africa combined or the Americas combined. A country which has a population more in diversity than Europe and Australia combined.
I know these
if
statistics.
we have such a diverse population where people can choose to express themselves in different methods to show their nationalism, to show their patriotism, where they're working on a daily basis for the betterment of the country, who is this particular we that we're referring to, who can all of a sudden decide the standard of what amounts to nationalistic expression and other expressions which are not? That's the entire question.
I know this is a certain kind of motivation which is there, it's fine. But this suddenly is a completely wrong word. In 1947, when the flag went up, the entire nation stood up. Entire nation stood up. Because at that time, we knew what it meant to be oppressed by somebody else. Now we've forgotten. That's all that's happened to us.
So
Now, you do not understand, this country has 1,000 years of history of invasions and invasions, and in every possible way we've been rubbished. Do you understand? And we have forgotten this, that just 60, 70 years ago, we had famines where people did not die in hundreds of thousands, they died in millions. We've forgotten that. We think… We are talking a language of America. You must understand, United States of America, in every sports event, major Super Bowl is happening. If the national anthem goes, everybody stands up, not just stand up, with their hand on their heart. So that nation is doing what it is doing. It is also a complete conundrum of cultures from variety. People have all come from outside in this generation. They're not even born there, but they all stand up with such pride. Because of that pride, that nation is the most powerful nation in the world. If you don't have pride, what do?
So I apologize to the people in the audience. We will have 40 minutes. I'm sorry, Javi, we'll have 40 minutes in the audience discussion because, the co-moderators also have important questions to ask. I can't take up their time. You can come back to… I can't hear you. We can come back to national anthem in the audience questions if that's fine to you. Constitution under Article 19(1)A gives me the freedom of expression, and there are explicit Supreme Court decisions which say that I have the right to silence, to peaceful silence. So if I'm just sitting up and I have the right to be silent, that is constitutionally protected. So Constitution does not say this. The only law we have is the…
Please sit down. Hello.
The only law we have is… there's a separate law for that.
Whoever, please, whatever kind of question you want to ask, take the microphone and ask the question. Don't just stand up and do whatever, okay, please?
So, sir, if it's fine to you and if it's fine to everybody, can we please do it as a moderated discussion?
Yes.
If you're fine with that, because we have a lot of important questions, nuanced questions to ask.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, I'll take the autocratic decision to move on, and if you guys can, please ask that in the audience questions. There's 40 minutes reserved for that.
That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. They're listening to your autocratic decision. They're not saying we'll express in our own way.
So Sir, because we already have two opinions being discussed here of
No, that
yours
is
and mine.
fine. All I'm saying is, if everybody does things in their own way, there's going to be chaos. That's all it is.